Maduro has given the world a narrative that explains the US posture in simple, recognizable terms: oil politics, resource extraction, military coercion. And that narrative has traction because it fits the facts better than anything Trump has offered. And once the narrative is lost, the whole justification collapses. And once the justification collapses, escalation becomes a liability, not a statement of strength. And the thing you notice when a justification collapses is that the power built on that justification begins to look performative. Because if the United States truly believed this was an urgent threat to its security, it would not be relying on percentages without evidence. It would not be hiding the supposed intelligence that underpins lethal strikes. And it would not be calling on airlines to obey airspace orders the US has no legal authority to issue. That's not how a confident state behaves, is it? This is how a state behaves when it's trying to will a narrative into existence that doesn't exist, and hoping nobody strong enough to challenge it will step in and force the real conversation. Well, Maduro has stepped in. OPEC has been invited into the conversation for a chat too. And the United States now finds itself having to defend not the legality of its actions, but the credibility of its story, which is much harder to maintain when the facts are either missing completely or point in a different direction entirely. Because the moment this crisis becomes all about the oil, the burden shifts. Oil producers understand threats to reserves because they have lived through decades of coercion and sanctions and blockades and wars dressed up as security interventions. Latin America understands it particularly because the region has spent generations dealing with the consequences of resource extraction dressed up as democracy promotion. Markets understand it because they move not on rhetoric but on structural risk, and destabilizing the country with the largest oil reserves on the planet is very much a structural risk.